Good morning, family. Welcome to Morning Devotion Light. Today is Saturday, September 30th. Let's begin by greeting our Heavenly Parent and True Parent. Janjian Champumanimge Kyangbe. Pado. Now for our family pledge, let's welcome Pastor Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 장부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 장부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 자녀국 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. Now for our opening prayer, I'd like to invite Wilson Ferreira. Could you please unmute and pray for us today? Thank you.
Please join me in prayer. Thank you, Holy Parents. Thanks to parents for this morning. The brothers and sisters from New York District join to pray for our restoration, the restoration of this nation. I would like to start with pray for Trumada. It's arriving here in America in October in Las Vegas. For safe arrival and well-being. Also, I'd like to pray for the Vision 25 Center of Trumada and Reverend Dunkling and his new message of rebirth that we can understand, take to heart, and somehow fit in our daily lives and the providence and be successful. Also like to pray for Japan, that's going through a lot of trouble, and the providence in Korea and America, that those three nations can make strides to the providence. Also like to pray for the foundation of Father and Mother established in America, the New Yorker and the Washington Times be secure and fulfill their providential roles, and that the case for UIC, we can restore UIC role that was originally established by two parents, and the trial that's been going on be successful. And I'd like to pray for Family Federation in America, that we can establish or fulfill our elder son role to bring victory central to mother. Thank you very much for everything. And I would like to also pray for our special services that's happening tomorrow, where brothers and sisters are going to present the work that been done for the providence. Thank you very much. I will just ask in the name of Trapez, in Jesus Christ's name, my name also Ferreira, bless our families. Adieu.
Adieu. Thank you, Wilson. All right, family, now it's time to take a break, share our gratitudes. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a good sharing. Beryl Green, would you like to share with us today?
Oh, good morning, beautiful. Confession. I looked at you and I said, she's gonna call me. Don't call me. Don't call me. I don't know why. It was like you were looking at me. Anyway. Yeah, thank you, Heavenly Parents. Thank you, two parents, for beautiful gathering. I learned to Okay, I was with Reverend Winita this morning, and we were giving God thanks, really just wake up in this new day, to feel God's, keeping us healthy and strong, and just to know that we are with true mother, the only begotten daughter, of course, and we have this opportunity to find people. And what we were talking about, finding young people, new people, young people to bring to true parents, because there are young people and new people that God has prepared, just like He did in the past. Because because she mentioned about the migrants. We see migrants coming and into the nation from all over, right? And some people getting scared, but some people are willing to help them. And what we are saying is, when you look at it, migrants have always been coming. It's right when the scale reached to a tipping point that new people need to come here, whatever the reason, whatever the cause. God bring those new people. And maybe those are the new people God wants us to reach to bring and connect to our true parents. So there's no reason to be afraid. Just, this nation is God's nation. And He's sending some people here all the time. But why? Because this is where they can connect with true parents. And true mother is alive. She's coming to this nation. And we've got to be so conscious, that we need to bring people to our true mother so we can tip the scale here in this nation of the people who are united, are connected to our true parents, so that we can save this nation. We can say, because we remember mother said we should have at least 1/3 of the nation, 30,000, all these numbers. We've got to think about who we can connect to, our true mother, and especially Spirit World is working at this time, because she's coming here. So gratitude is that true mother is coming. And this is our chance, because the water is stirred, the water is troubled. So let us ride in and make this a victorious time. If she's aiming on the young people, then we should aim on the young people too. Because we will find young people like back in the days, back in your day, right? You were young. We will find young people who want to connect.
Way
Amen.
back. Thank you. Thank you, Beryl.
I think God wanted that to be said. Hey, girl. So that's why it changes it. So right now we have this chance again to find beautiful people like you, baby girl.
Thank
Young,
you,
beautiful people.
Thank
you.
All right, brothers and sisters, now it's time for our Godable reading. We're reading from True Mother's memoir, The Mother of Peace. Pastor Mohan.
Yeah, thank you, Mama Green. Who needs to get high when you can get high on true parents?
Hey.
That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, thank you, Mama Green. It's true. Mother's coming, and we won the jackpot. We're sitting on a just a mountain of treasure by being with true parents. What more can we want? What more could we want? All right, let's begin our Godable reading.
Welcome to Mother of Peace, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. A memoir by Hak Jahan Moon, a production of the Washington Times Global Media Group, narrated by Alison Hiroto. Chapter 6: Creating the Road to One World. One street, one global neighborhood. On the southern Japanese island of Kyushu, there was a small port city named Karatsu. This city on the shores of the Korea Strait is famous for the pottery that bears its name. Karatsu pottery was originally created by Korean potters. During the 1980s, key members visited this city several times on our behalf to develop an international project. Karatsu was the launching site for an initiative that my husband had announced at our international conference on the unity of the sciences in the autumn of 1981, the construction of an international peace highway circumscribing the globe. The vision is for a high-speed transportation artery linking the entire globe. On the day of its completion, much of our world will become one village, linked by one road. The process of constructing the highway itself provides the world's peoples and governments a common purpose. The transnational lines of commerce and recreation that open up will stimulate inter-ethnic exchange of culture and goods and draw us to live in harmony as neighbors. That highway would pass through a tunnel connecting Korea's Busan with Karatsu, and there, in 1986, we commenced a pilot tunnel construction. I had long been interested in visiting the site. Finally, in 2016, I had the opportunity to go and see it. During my visit, I renewed our movement's commitment to the Peace Highway. I believe that the world's peoples are ready for this, and that the time is ripe for launching the project based upon a global plan. To tell this story to the world, from the streets to the Senate buildings, I had already created an affiliated project, Peace Road. It consists of public activism publicizing the international highway, and it has turned into a global movement for peace. I'll share more about Peace Road later. Regarding construction, the biggest challenges are those of crossing the spans of ocean that separate Alaska from Russia and Korea from Japan. The divides between those territories are both physical and spiritual, and the joint commitment to building a road uniting them will represent important steps towards peace for the human race. Of course, it is not an easy task. Since the dawn of human history, there has been no greater engineering and social challenge. Yet I know that it is possible, and that it represents the ultimate task that must be accomplished in our era, the harmonious cooperation of all peoples and governments. Attitudes that persist based on the tormented history between Korea and Japan are a huge obstacle, and they give rise to opposition to the tunnel. But we have to forgive, forget, and set our minds on the positive outcomes. An undersea tunnel connecting Busan in Korea with Karatsu in Japan will boost our respective abilities to contribute to the global economy. The anchor cities of Karatsu and Busan will become hubs for global trade, linking the Eurasian continent to the Pacific region. The tunnel will unite these two nations' cultural assets, both traditional and cutting edge, for global tourism. Most importantly, its construction will plant the roots of peace in Asia, and cooperation between these two countries will serve as a model for heaven healing the wounds of conflict and hostility felt in nations and among peoples throughout the world. The reality is, however, that these two nations pursue their own interests. I encourage their leaders to think about England and France, who waged wars against each other for a century, yet joined hands to build the Channel Tunnel that connects them together. If the Korean and Japanese peoples open their hearts and accomplish genuine forgiveness and reconciliation, we will see the Korea-Japan Peace Tunnel built in our time. This tunnel will not just symbolize, but realize humanity's future based not on fear, but on hope. My husband and I therefore prayed that constructing this tunnel as part of the Peace Highway would create a low-pressure area on the Korean peninsula, into which the high-pressure areas surrounding the peninsula to the east and west would converge to bring unity on the peninsula. Looking at a map with a motherly heart, I feel as if the island and continent long for each other, and the peninsula is where they meet. The second major challenge for the International Peace Highway is that of crossing the Bering Strait between Russia and the United States. That location will prove to be even more challenging than the Korea Strait. The Bering Strait once represented the ideological divide between the democratic and communist camps as the United States and Russia grappled with each other. Connecting these two nations is a vital step toward global peace and unification. I want everyone to be able to travel the International Peace Highway by car or even bicycle from Cape Town to Santiago, from London to New York. I want taking a trip with your sweetheart through any country around the world to be as easy as visiting your hometown. One end of the highway will be the Cape of Good Hope at the southern tip of Africa. The other end will be Cape Horn at the southern tip of South America. It will cross the Bering Strait to link the African continent and Eurasia with the Americas. From the perspective of this highway, Korea will be the midpoint. By heaven's grace, the birthplace of the true parents, for whom humankind has long awaited, will be at the very center. Many people question how we can accomplish such a formidable task. Yet history shows that all great achievements have come amid difficulties. If it is the will of God, there must be a way. We already have the engineering prowess to construct a bridge tunnel complex spanning the Bering Strait. Concerning the cost, we need to put it in perspective. Compared to the money that the world is investing in wars that do nothing but destroy nations and people, the cost of a bridge tunnel constructed for the sake of peace is insignificant. Nations and movements sacrifice lives and resources following the logic of power, a foolish and ineffective way to resolve perceived injustice or settle disputes. Our Heavenly Parent is showing us the path of true peace. As the book of Isaiah says, now is the time to beat our swords into plowshares. I have mentioned the Peace Road Project. It consists of events in which people of all ages and nationalities, wearing Peace Road t-shirts and carrying a Peace Road flag, ride bicycles or walk to show their support for our proposed International Peace Highway. Their path ends at local government centers where officials and social and religious leaders speak at rallies, publicly announcing their support for the initiative and stimulating publicity in local media. Leaders and citizens of many countries, including members of the International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace, have welcomed the Peace Road movement. In 2015, people in more than 120 countries participated. Altogether, the Peace Riders that year symbolically traversed the world in 93 days. Bold love breaks an iron curtain. With the coming of the year 1990, people were feeling hopeful that the world might truly change. I would hear one person saying, "The term Cold War will soon no longer be heard," and another responding, "That may be your hope, but the Soviet Union is holding on, and communism is gaining power in many countries. Peace cannot be so easily achieved." They would agree on one point: it won't be easy. In the late 1980s, with American conservatism on the rise, the Solidarity movement generating success in Poland, and glasnost and perestroika progressing in Russia, the world was entering an era of reconciliation, at least on a superficial level. But at the same time, Moscow-directed insurgencies were building momentum in Africa, Asia, and Central America. Moscow had succeeded in forcing the United States to pull out of Vietnam, allowing communism to run rampant there, and in the killing fields of Cambodia. Marxists were still bent on their ambition to communize the entire world. At that time, my husband and I sponsored the World Media Association fact-finding tours, taking Western journalists to see firsthand the conditions in the Soviet Union and other communist states. Informing journalists with indisputable facts was an effective step toward ending the Cold War. Besides taking the blinders off these journalists' eyes, the tours generated positive relations with Russian media. In addition, we welcomed the teams from communist countries during the 1988 Seoul Olympics, serving them with Korean food and gifts. On that foundation, my husband and I decided to go to Moscow to meet President Mikhail Gorbachev.
Thank you for listening to Godable.
Thank you, God, your parents, for these words today. As you can tell, the theme was on the peace road, and this vision for connecting the whole world together in one continent or interconnected continents. The logic here is that, well, we spend billions and billions of dollars on our weapons, and Lockheed Martin and all these contractors get all kinds of money, and the world's left to pay the bill. For what? So that we have bigger and better ways to kill each other. And also, this is somewhat controversial topic in politics within our movement as well, because Mother has said, and I think we all remember when one of our virtual rallies in America, where she talked about gun control, how the government should own all the guns, and that people should have to, lease them from the government if they want to use it. Now, the logic here is that we are de-escalating the whole world, that let's put more of our talk and attention onto bridges. Of course, yes, we need to protect ourselves and all that. At the same time, we need to start talking about bridges, economic, mutual prosperity, universally, the shared values, and interdependence. I mean, this is what we're talking about ultimately, which is why the Peace Road's always been a UPF project. And so I've always been a support for it. And we try to find ways it can be more relevant to young people. Like in 2020, with all the racial divide, we kind of looked at that as a bridge that needed to be created. So let's just jump in the highlights. Karatsu. Sorry. It's funny because I highlighted Karatsu thinking that was the kind of pottery where it's broken and you kind of put it back together with the, the gold. But apparently not. It's just some normal, I don't know. I'm not sure what's so special about this Karatsu pottery. But anyway, it's pottery is building, creative element there. The process of constructing the highway itself provides the world's peoples and governments a common purpose. Again, let's change the conversation. You watch the news and oh my gosh, they're always blasting China, blasting Russia, blasting whatever, corruption, Ukraine, like you just there's no end to it. The media is just bored. That they have to always create doom and gloom in the media so people can buy their newspapers and watch their clickbait stuff, just appealing to people's more primitive nature, but they should focus on things that are more constructive. every morning I play for my kids. What was it? Is it NBC? I forget what it is. Called Nightly News Kids Edition. So there's news for kids. And it was great. It was so cute. Actually, I found it entertaining myself. They had kids, they were talking about what they had backpacks, how they're supposed to be worn. There's some dispute over this sun bear in China standing up on its hind legs, and a lot of YouTubers were saying that this is a human wearing a bear suit, and but actually they just didn't know that a sun bear stands like that, much like a human does. So this fun little, talking about cats and how they're just as personal as dogs and stuff like this. So it's, we need more creative news and entertainment and building bridges of cultural bridges. That's what we should put all of our energy into, our money and our time and our energy into more creative, constructive, interconnected types of products and services. Okay. The goal is ultimate task must be accomplished in our era, the harmonious cooperation of all peoples and governments. I think it's possible, but it must be done by the true parents. Sorry. It's the only way it's going to work. Serve as a model for heaven, healing the wounds of conflict and hostility felt in nations and among peoples throughout the world. Yep. It's a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. It can only be healed with love, which is patience and truth that our true parents have, and that all of us need to embody. I feel as if the island and continent long for each other, and the peninsula is where they meet. So, I have the map in front of me at all times here up on the wall, and my battery's running out. I'm laughing because I look at this. Father he's a little more explicit in his description of Korea and Japan, where he sees a penis coming off of China and Japan is like a woman lying down on her back. The size is pretty scary to think about, but they long for each other. That's what Mother's saying. But there's a longing to connect the mainland to Japan. And you can imagine the kind of cultural and peace reconciliation that can happen there. I remember Dr. Young would always talk about his most famous story is, making love to the enemy, right? He was married, he's blessed to a Japanese sister, and he made love to the enemy. And that's true parents' path to peace through the blessing. Connecting these two nations is a vital step toward global peace and unification. Yes, United States and Russia, they should work together, especially with global warming. If Russia, and that means Russia and Alaska will become warmer climates, then they might as well develop their economies there. Get ready for the shift in climate. The birthplace of the true parents for whom humankind has long awaited will be at the very center. Yes, that's why I like the Pacific map. It's a lot better. Compared to the money that the world is investing in the wars that do nothing but destroy nations and people, the cost of a bridge tunnel constructed for the sake of peace is insignificant. It's true. For $1 billion, you could probably build that tunnel. And you could probably have a bunch of commercial corporate companies paying for it, because as long as they get their cut in the benefit. Following the logic of power, a foolish and ineffective way to resolve perceived injustice or settle disputes. Yep, force does not work much anymore. So that's peace work. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. All right, brothers and sisters, now it's time to share our reflections, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a good sharing.
Sometimes.
Ray Beth, would you like to share with us today?
She's on the line.
Yeah.
What?
Ray Beth.
Mama May, I unmuted you just now. You're trying to. Okay, maybe she's not.
All right, Michelle. Michelle, how about you?
Michelle Lutz?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Hello, how are you?
Good morning. Hello.
Yeah, I was not on because I was sharing with Roshan, who is spending some time with me. But yeah, we were saying that, we were sharing, of course, about anyway. Yeah, I'm not going to go off subject. I'm going to we were talking, when you are talking between each other, we go off the subject many times, but I'm going to come back with the content of what we were sharing with Reverend Millen. We were saying that true parents are genius. There is no one else that can come up with ideas, vision like that. And we know that vision will be realized one day because it comes from the mind of God, through our true parents. So we are very hopeful for the future, for the world unity that will develop, unravel as as days goes by, despite all the difficulties and all the resistance that is on the way. But really what I like the most from the reading today was the island and continent long for each other, and the peninsula is where they meet. By the connection that is going to be made as time goes by. The nation, the continents are going to be one, because thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. So it's already planned in heaven, it will substantialize on earth. Yeah, that's my takeaway today.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. I was not expecting to be called, but I'm glad I could share that, because that's precious.
Thank you for sharing. All right, brothers and sisters, do we have any prayer requests? Oh, Beryl, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Again. So one point came to me when I was I was in the breakout room with Samsung, and one point came to me was, we are looking at all the difficulties that is happening in at the time, but if we look back, it has always been difficult. You have one side, all the, like he mentioned, we're talking about the world, the problem with nuclear war and all those things. In the 60s, all these things have been happening, but our true parents have always been given a solution. And so we probably should focus on the solution more than how we are focusing on the difficulties, because we can't do anything. We can't do the difficulties, but we can use True Mother's word, like she showed us here the Peace Road. Whenever we're having Peace Road, if you look, you just see Peace Road and a few people. participating in it, but you don't see it making world news, you know? And so true parent solutions is always in there, it is always in the word. And if we should focus on these things, these projects, and make it become awesome, the world pay attention. It's just we seeing these peace roads. When I look on the world news, or HJ News, we see all these peace road activities. But if you look, you don't see as much people that can create the world news. And I'm not talking about our news, I'm talking about the world news, you know. So we need to focus on the little things, the projects that true parents put out there and said, this is for peace, and make it become large, make it become awesome, make it reach the news so that we can really bring victory in true parents' lifetime. Because I'm saying that if you listen to Mother's words this morning and listen to Reverend Stephen's shit talking about, you can see it's so clear that we can bring victory. And we use the young people because they will jump on a bike and ride. We need to find all the buyers and let them join us for peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Beryl. Thank you very much for sharing. Okay, brothers and sisters, do we have any prayer requests today?
I guess all the past ones are included. We're always thinking about Japan and all, you know. So there's a long list already.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's begin our 7 minutes unison prayer. She shall. Most beloved Heavenly Parent.
Heavenly Parent, thank you for
parents.
Many parents for reading this morning from
Dad.
Otto Watch's parents for this particular time in history. We know that in time where all the stuff that happened in time before will be restored. We're going to come together as one family. We need to eliminate, Father, the influence, Father, art angelic. God is a peace.
Bigger children for winning.
And then we can keep our mind clear that everything belongs to you and to not to has been given in Christ. Everything has been subject to not only the man, but it's also the woman, especially the woman. I want to thank you for each one of my brothers and sisters faithfully coming on and continuing this work. Father, thank you for Kevin, the Greens, the Tunos, the Sunny Boys, for the Greens, Tapias, especially the Reese, Father, really leading the way. Stevenses, Harris, Powers, the Allisons, everybody so and Louise, the Towskis, the Watsons, the Carpos, so it's behind the iPhone, family, directors, fathers, Santos, Ios, and Kay family, Valentin family, the Miles again, and Samsung Bruno again, and the Whites, and Beth, Father, and also the Sons, Boris and Rocco, Janelle is not on today, Father, also brothers and sisters that have that are with us at this moment. Father, for this day, each one individual see the light through unification of the VOC. Be clearly to true mothers to really bring us back to the garden, the whole 8.8, all the people in the spirit world. The fall.
parents' speeches, the love that
Ultimately,
is enters there in
matter, Father,
speeches
how many
continue to grow, can
tragedies and
continue, they
suffering we
attract
have gone through.
Will not
But
limit.
you have gone through
visit
more.
our website,
This
have
is
You've been there
engaged
from the
deeply
beginning.
together
And
here. We
principles
pray
Jesus
that
has
that you
suffered,
continue to
the
do
parents
that
have
in
suffered
time,
more,
more and more
we
are
people to
suffering more,
understand
Father,
your
because they are
will.
carrying the
I don't know how many
parent,
of those
getting
visitors
into
are in.
everybody's life and knowing
We pray that
exactly
members can be
what
rejuvenated.
through Heavenly Parent, to pray for your
We pray
mother,
that new people
is in a way,
come to discover
Father, and Jesus is
the second
superhuman.
advent, to discover
And each one of my brothers and sisters, especially
our
second and third
systems
generations,
on earth
really
in the form of
ending the role, especially
parents.
the mothers coming to visit to Las Vegas.
Will always be
They
with us. Will
represent
always
true
guide us and
distant
lead us. Will be
filled
true parents.
blessings,
Grandchildren
Father, of
will
all the
take up
blessings that you've given to the first and second generation.
responsibility. Couples,
They can
two
really
parents,
understand,
grandchildren, couples take up the
vis-a-vis the
responsibility
ACLC
for
will represent
providence
all the
intended
tribal
to
Messiah
grow and
work, actually,
expand
that's already
more and
done.
more
Christianity,
to reach the position
want to
of
connect, Father, to have a heart to
complete
connect
oneness
to
with
that, to
you,
the
complete
returning
peace with
Messiah.
you.
And especially, Father,
All
for
walk
that
toward
meeting, the
the
chemistry of
kingdom of
that
heaven.
meeting
All
can
of these
spark
as
unity between
bridges
time
and bridges
Messiahship,
up, adding countries that are
generations,
separated,
the 10th
bringing them
generation,
into oneness, bringing
come
them
for
into
tribal
oneness and
Messiahship in
unity
every
with
corner
ideas
of the
you.
world, Father.
As a parent,
It's
years when
provided with
people
patience,
bomb each
endurance,
other,
Father,
gain
also with
control,
hope
gain territory,
that we can go past, Father, all the
leadership. We pray those days
cheating
can
and the
come to an
stealing and
end.
the murdering that took place so far,
Fighting between Ukraine
all
and
the
Russia can come to an end.
misuse of love, Father, even to the
Bitterness
point
between these countries
of
can be dissolved.
fusing the elements of
Exactly.
man and woman,
We need
melting down man and woman
Russia
to
to
nothing, no matter what,
to be held to
it's just
account and
peaceful
keep its
conversion.
promise.
Every parent that chooses what to
Don't know
do.
exactly
So this is what
what
the
the
Bible has
solution
inspired us to say,
is,
Father. We're just,
how it will work exactly.
we're just
We
animals
know
to
that you
choose
know, and we
what to do and
it
do
can
whatever
be
we want to
found.
do.
We pray that the
That's
war can end, that
bottom
the
line.
killing can stop,
That
and only
beyond
create
that, we
bitterness
understand that
or
true value is
hatred or
sons and
resentment.
daughters of the
church
heavenly
Again, we
parent and
pray
true
for
parents,
the
Father.
Ukraine,
That's who we
pray for
are.
Russia,
I'm gonna
we
pray
pray
gratitude,
for the
Father.
coming
This reading today and every
mothers of
day,
visit
more
our
clear about your mother,
she
speaking
can
from
be
her heart.
inspired
The true
and have hope
me,
For the time.
daughter of God,
that
Father. Give it your
your will is moving forward. Your
vindicating
will is moving
Jesus'
forward.
incredible
Your will
suffering. We never
can
had
be
any
accomplished
positive
in
response
America, even at
ultimately
this late hour,
in
even
life on earth, even
uh,
in the spirit world when he came.
thank you for never giving up on us,
2,000
never
years of
giving up
suffering
on
of
America.
Christianity, Father.
Well, America can be
Nevertheless,
the
needs to
hope
be
of the
connected to the
world. It must be
Messiah.
the hope, but it needs
Come
to
and
rejuvenate. It needs
connected
to
and
rejuvenate
revitalized
its
and
own spirit
vindicated all those
with
saints
the
and
truth of
sages,
the principle.
those
Needs to
martyrs,
connect with
Father, who
parents
died.
in order to be
They need to be
alive, in
vindicated.
order to be
There's no
in
shortcut,
order to
Father.
be restored.
Breaking in somebody's
We
home
pray
and taking over.
to do our
Doesn't
part
work
to
that
help
way,
make this
Father.
happen.
Going to somebody else's
People here
country,
in America
just saying, oh,
make
I'm here now.
part
It doesn't work that way,
love
Father.
these parents,
Robbery and
to
theft
love
is
them
not
and
happening.
also well.
Not gonna happen, Heavenly Parent. Everybody has to pay the price.
And never giving up, us as
People have paid the
individuals,
price to
never
come
giving
here.
up
A
America,
lot of people have
to
paid
raise
the
them
price, Father.
with
So they
love and
have given
resources to
everything
these
they had,
people.
everything
It would have been
behind.
long gone if
It's not for some
we
easy,
made it
quick
to
fix
America. We
handed
had
out by
to
the
make
government. And it's
serious
not working that way.
decisions.
Father, we pray for all
Disappeared
the good
in
spirits of
the
this country, of the United States of
world
America, to be mobilized.
influence
All the people's
here.
spirits around the world to
They're
be
fed by
mobilized.
the
All the
skin of
good
its teeth.
quality.
Thank you, everyone, for your prayers. Do we have any announcements today?
Has my letter gone out yet? I think
Yes.
it has. Okay. So be sure to read that. Huh? About tomorrow. That's right.
Yeah. Yes. I went out last night.
So for all the ministry leaders, please be prepared to talk about not just the externals of your ministry, but also the internals. Some of the challenges and how you've been able to overcome them. I think people might want to hear that too. But yeah, bring some small bills. those little donations to the ministries mean a lot. I think it'll really stimulate more creativity. And I'm talking to Sayaka now and Shizuko of how we can keep track of all the bookkeeping for all the different ministries. I think what we're doing here, it can be a great model for communities all over the country to stimulate more support for ministry work. So you can pray for that, support that.
I have a
And we have to pray for people to get there because of flooding affecting the subways.
Yeah, good point.
I have a question, Mohan. I sent you a link to a report, that I made to small communities last night. I don't know if you got it, if you were able to open it.
Look at it now.
Okay, it's a link. It's a WeTransfer link because the file is large. It has about 44 slides. So you have to open the link and then you can view it.
Okay, I'll make sure I have that.
I sent it a few days ago. Yeah. Yesterday or the day before. Yeah.
Just have to remind everybody we're at the New Yorker Hotel, bank space, second floor at 11 o'clock.
I have to try and figure out how we're going to end up heating up the patties, because I spoke to Alex and he said that he doesn't have the proper equipment for it. I mean, basically, it's like saying no, he doesn't want us to use his oven. So I'm just like, are we going to take the patties to 43rd to have them done, then putting them in warmers to bring them back here? I don't know. So,
does anyone here have an idea how we can help Caribbean ministry with these patties?
Well, we have a small electric oven.
a toaster oven?
You can heat about maybe 6 or 7 or 8 patties at a time.
You bring it.
I can bring that. You just have to plug it in and it works.
Oh, that's perfect. So we could just get 2 warmers and then just warm up the patties and then put them in the warmers to have them ready by the time people are ready to eat. Yeah.
Okay, we'll bring it with us. Yeah.
Put them in that, the pans with the little warmer things underneath them.
Yeah, we'll just have them for later after we use the toaster oven to actually get them warmed up, because they need to go in some form of oven before you can put them in the warmers.
Exactly.
No problem.
Need the warmer pans.
Reverend Melhan, whoever is picking up the stuff from 43rd would need to also pick up the pans and the stands. We don't have, I think we only have 2 of the heated warmers. So if we're gonna use that, we'll need more of those. We'll have to get some more.
Okay, so I'm gonna be going this morning over there with Zenas. So pans and stands.
Yeah, the stands are on the top of the cabinets.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
The coffee maker. People are bringing desserts.
Correct. And so I think inside.
Keys for stands and pans. They're a lot at Harlem Church.
There were.
Oh, you threw the pans away?
No, we have we have some pans.
Oh, you have some pans.
At 43rd we have it. Yeah, we have a lot already. That's why.
Did you take the stands to 43rd?
Yeah, the stands are there too.
Yeah, we've used them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you have those little candles. You have those little candle things.
Canister things. Yeah.
We need more of. I think we only have like 4 there.
And a lighter.
Work with Sayaka. She.
Try a lighter. Good point.
Oh, I've got a brand new those whatchamacallit, grill lighters. Yeah. So
yeah. Okay, good.
That's so nice that you're doing that, Joelle. Wow, we love those Jamaican patties.
Yeah.
They usually hit the spot, and I got it from the same place the last time that everybody loves them, so it should be a great experience. Yeah.
Wow.
Make sure you have some chicken.
We gotta have those patties. Well, I'll cancel the whole service if we don't have them.
Well, they're definitely here, so don't worry about it. We're good to go.
All right.
We got everything.
Good.
All you
Good.
need. Just come.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you need is
All right.
Can I listen to the song to close off all this?
Thank you, everybody. Hope you have a
Okay.
good day.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.
Bye.
You.